Hello, my name is Simon Humphries. I'm responsible for leading both Toyota and Lexus global design. Firstly, and most importantly, I hope that you and your families have managed to stay healthy and well during this unprecedented global pandemic. Secondly, I'd like to express my sincere thanks to all the entrants of this year's Lexus Design Award India for their efforts, despite the considerable difficulties that everybody is facing at both a personal and societal level. During these times of adversity, I'm reminded of the responsibility that design has. In the words of Toyota's president, Akio Toyoda, our company, and from that point of view, design, has the power to bring happiness in a variety of ways to people and society the world over. We as designers are inherently problem solvers, and it's critical that we use our ability to the benefit of everybody, especially in these difficult times. Lexus is a young brand in comparison to its competitors and seeks to challenge and redefine the prestige automotive experience in a way that's not only provocative, but is also sophisticated and relevant to the customer as well as society as a whole. From this point of view, we've always strived to challenge the accepted norms in prestige car design, rejecting the approach that all vehicles in the lineup should share an almost identical design language. Of course, as with many other automotive manufacturers, Lexus design utilizes brand Q elements such as the spindle grille that are shared throughout the lineup to define the consistency and identity of the brand. However, I believe the quintessential element of Lexus design is the philosophy driving the design direction itself, rather than the cues that can have a tendency to remain static over time. In Lexus, if we look at the lineup as a whole, the design direction is tailored to fit and enhance the individual concept of each vehicle to maximize the value experience to the customer, yet at the same time hold a clear underlying consistency of approach that runs through all the vehicles. In real terms, Lexus design utilizes high levels of contrast in the architecture and surface design, and the form, it appears to change depending on the angle or the distance or the lighting, creating an impression that it evolves over time. But all of this is done to complement the uniqueness of each vehicle's concept. For example, the original RX, it questioned whether only the sedan could be considered a prestige automotive vehicle. It redefined the perception of luxury as something that could be considered in both on and off situations. The NX, it brought provocative emotion to the SUV, challenging the rationality of the segment, and the style, even though it's in its fifth year, I think it still looks avant-garde and fresh. The LC offers an answer of how to create a beautiful vehicle that challenges the need to rely on traditional design directions. Quite simply, it's one of the very few sports cars that could be described as both contemporary, yet at the same time beautiful. This sensibility is closely linked to Japanese aesthetic values, namely that something can be striking and simple, yet have intriguing depth and artistry. And I honestly believe this is something that's unique to the Lexus brand. The factors that influence design are all undergoing considerable change. It's often said that the electric powertrain will fundamentally change the layout and usability of future vehicles, and in many cases this is true. But we also have to consider the change in people. People the world over are becoming ever more confident in the way that they choose and they consume design. Mass trends in design were once commonplace, but as we move forward, diversity in design is becoming ever more important. The luxury car owner has also changed, where many primary purchase reasons were often based on social hierarchy stereotypes. It's now much more a personal decision, driven by the values held by the individual. Brands have evolved to meet these expectations with more diversity and clarity of what they stand for, giving the luxury customer a greater opportunity to utilize the product for his or her own self-expression. For example, the LF30 demonstrated a radical shift in form possibilities when the engine layout is changed, and in-wheel motors replaced the traditional suspension layout. But the reality is that the combination of powertrain layout innovation, together with connected technologies, autonomous support, materials technology, all of them taking huge simultaneous paradigm shifts in terms of innovation. This will create a true change in vehicle design and engineering, but it will also create a change in the fundamental way that we use mobility in society. New ideas to meet people's desires are required by designers right now, and it's vital that we don't focus excessively on the cars of yesteryear. We're entering an age where we must overcome the preconceived norms, such as that a car just provides transportation, and move towards a more innovative future. Most of the products we buy and use today are static throughout their life cycle. The car that you buy today will probably be exactly the same when you sell it in 5 years' time. But the influence of technological advances will completely change this equation. The product will grow with the user and change and improve throughout its life cycle. Cars, which have up till now, been fundamentally isolated, will be designed as part of an optimized system. The connectivity and synergy between them will form a new user experience tailored to the expectation of each and every person. And to be honest with you, many people are worried about whether the car will become a soulless commodity in the future. But to be honest with you, I completely disagree with this. The rise of optimized mobility systems, which fulfill the majority of our everyday mobility needs, will allow the privately owned vehicle to become ever more diverse and ever more emotional, as they're freed from the need to be complete all-rounders. I'm incredibly optimistic about the future of both car design and design in general. People the world over are looking for real answers that will enhance their chosen lifestyles, and it's our job to create them. In this era of confusion and fear, it's really heartening to see the energy and enthusiasm of such a diverse group of creative people. Designers have the power to define the future, and I'm really looking forward to see how this year's entrants envisage it. I just want to finish by saying a big thank you to everybody for their participation in the program, and I'm really looking forward to seeing who will be selected for this year's Lexus Design Awards India 2021 winners. Thank you very much indeed.